Hi, I'm Shevis Davis, the owner and the creative director of Paint with Faith. We're so excited to have this virtual experience with you. Here at Paint with Faith, we are a motivational painting experience, and our goal is to get you motivated through art. We also believe that if you can complete this painting class on today, then what else could you achieve in your life? Your goals, your dreams, or your desires? What could you achieve with just some motivation, some guidance, and just some faith or belief in yourself? So we want to encourage you to paint with faith. Well, I think we said enough. Let's go ahead and get to painting.
Hi, I'm Chris. Everybody say hi, Chris. Our company is Paint with Faith. We are a motivational painting company. We believe that you can do all things. We want you to believe that you can do all things too. So with that, I want you to repeat after me. If I believe, I can achieve. I want to hear it one more time. Let's get some more energy, all right? If I believe, I can achieve. We believe there are no mistakes in art, just room for opportunity, so you will not make a mistake. You see this? This is a canvas, not a canvas, which means you can do it. Your life is a canvas, painted with faith. Snap your fingers for pure positive energy. If anyone says anything negative, or if you say you don't like art, or you're not into it, just snap out the negativity. Okay? So today what we're gonna do is we're going to create a beautiful night sky with some grass. And before we get started today with our painting, I want to talk to you guys about what the goal is today. And the goal is to essentially just have fun. Okay, like this is overall supposed to be relaxing. It's supposed to be a soothing experience where you're escaping from the world and you're just deep into your art. All right, and so today I want to just have fun, but what I want for us to do is to push through and get to that final art piece. All right, that's the two things I want to happen today. I want us to most importantly have fun, but also get to the end of our goal. Right, so I want you to think of like a firefighter or a policeman or any profession. You can even think of superheroes, right? Whenever they're on a mission, whenever they're doing their job, when they have something they have to do, like a firefighter has to put out a fire going on in a building or in any place or situation, they have to make sure they get everyone out. They have to make sure they're putting out the fire. They have to make sure everyone's as safe as possible. Like, they have goals to complete as they're doing their mission, right? And no matter what, they go through it, they push through it, and they get the job done. Same thing with policemen when they're chasing down a car on the I-95. If somebody is trying to escape, they're pursuing, they keep pushing until they get to the person that they need to get, right? So with that, what I want to say is think of art similar to that, or think of what we're about to do now. It's just like that, right? You're going to push through whatever obstacle you have and get to that end result. Remember, your art piece is going to be unique to you. Your art piece might not look like mine, and that's fine. That's absolutely fine. You don't have to look like mine. All you have to do is have fun with it and make sure you complete that goal. That's what I want for us today, all right? And remember, if you have any negative thoughts, if you say, oh man, I don't like the art piece, or you're like, oh man, can't do art, snap out the negativity, all right? Because you can do art. You are an artist. Remember, everybody, and I believe everyone in the world is an artist. And I think that everyone has their own unique style, right? And so throughout this process, as you continue your art journey, you will find your own style, and that's beautiful. That's what happens with artists. That's how you distinguish each artist, because they have their own styles. But without further ado, I don't want to hold you guys too long. Let's get started with this land piece. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna pick up our canvas, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a nice blue line going down here. So get that blue. Okay, so what we're gonna get started with is we're gonna get some blue with our big brush, and we're gonna go right into the bottom, and we're gonna create a nice line right in the bottom. We're not going to, usually when we create our lines, we go a bit up, like around here. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna come right down here and create that line. So let's get that big brush, dip it in some blue, come right down here and create create a nice line. And let's go back a little bit. Let me see, I have a little bit of paint, so let's drag it over here to make that line a bit solid, a bit more solid. Now, you should have this, okay? Excuse me, I'm sorry. But the whole thing is here is that it doesn't have to be solid. It doesn't have to be a opaque line, and what that means is solid. It doesn't have to be a very deep blue, solid blue, because what this is not this line is going to be our guideline for the rest of the painting, and you'll see what I mean as we go further into it. Right, so what we're going to do now is, with that same blue brush, we're going to add some white. So you're going to scoop up the corner of the white on your palette, get some white on that brush, as you can see, and then I'm going to mix it into that blue. And what you'll see, and as I'm going, as you can see here, let me make sure you guys can see, I'm going upwards and I'm working it just slightly down because I don't want to go below that blue line that we created. Just like that, all right? Let's mix some more, get some more. And the goal here, as you can see, is lighter now, because if you add white to a color, what will happen is it will become brighter and lighter. And if you add black to the color just a tad bit, it'll become darker, right? So my goal here is to create a light blue, a light blue. I'm gonna add just a bit more white to it. Add just a bit more white to make it a little bit lighter. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna work that up, okay? Work that up. And what you want to do is have nice long strokes across your canvas. Get some more blue. So, got a little bit more blue. I'm gonna work that in there. Just like that. Alright. Don't worry about it being darker, because what we're gonna do is the exact same thing as we did down here. We're gonna add some white to it. So, get that nice blue. Alright. And now, let's get some of that white. White, let's add it in, and now it's the exact same color, so you don't have to worry about it not looking the best right now, because what we're doing is we're going to transition it from light blue to purple. And before we get to the purple, I want to ask you to think about, how do you create purple? What two colors do you mix to create purple? I want to know who can say that, right? Who knows a little bit about art. All right, so let's get that nice light blue. And remember, as we always say, you want to get your negative spaces out. And what negative space is white points that you see inside of your canvas. And you don't want to see any of the canvas after the painting is done, okay? You want to make sure you cover all the canvas with paint. So always try and get as much of the negative space or white space on the canvas as possible. Unless you are actually using white, then that's okay, because you can tell the difference. All right, so let's continue with this. Let's get some more white and add a little bit more white into it, make it lighter. I want to smooth out the brush as much as possible, all the paint, as much as possible. Alright. So now what we're going to do is, you should have this, a nice clear blue. So what we're going to do is we're going to add some blue. Just like that, you're going to add some blue. Get some more blue on that brush. We're going to go right on top of that color that we created, just like that. So we're going to go on top. And if it's blending together, that's fine. That's what you want. You want it to blend together. So get some more blue. Let's add it to the bottom. Let's drag that in. You want it to be as clear as possible. You want it to fade beautifully. You don't want it to be like three colors stacked on each other. You want it to transition from that light blue nicely into that blue, nicely into that purple, right? So let's continue with that blue. Let's work this out a little bit. And as you can see, I didn't clean up my brush yet. And why I'm doing that is because I want it to blend as nice as possible. Alright. So I should have that. You see how it's kind of like all harsh and you can see the lines. So what we're gonna do is gonna add some white. And we're not gonna go all the way to the top this time. What we're gonna do is we're gonna just put it right in the middle. So don't just watch how I'm doing it. Right in the middle, just like that, and drag it. That's all. We're gonna go just left and right with that. And now it's more of a it's smooth. It's a smooth transition. It's not just one harsh transition that you have. All right, so it's now smooth. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna clean off our brush, and then we're gonna go back into the blue, and we're gonna move upward. All right. So why do you think I made you clean off your brush? Let me give you a couple seconds to think about that. And that's correct, right? You don't want to have white on you, because what we did was we created a light blue down here, and then we transitioned it into the blue. And what we don't want to do is have a light blue on top, because what we're trying to make, we're gonna transition from a light blue to a purple, and then a blue in between. So we're making it darker as we go up, not lighter. All right. So what we're gonna do is get some blue. There's no white on my brush, just pure blue, and we're gonna go on top, and we're gonna now blend that in to the top, and we're working up just like that. All right. We're working up. As we work up, we want to get every crevice, remember, we don't want any negative space in our paintings, right? You want to make sure you cover everything. So we're going to work it up, try to make it blend as nice as possible. Get some more blue. Let's scoop up some more blue. We're going to work it up. And now you have a pure blue. You don't have a light blue, you have a pure blue. And actually, fun fact, blue is actually my favorite color. So I really like this painting. I like to work with blue because, to me it's fun. I love blue, and not all shades of blue. Kind of strangely, I don't really like sky blue is cool, but I like more of a royal blue, which is like a darker blue. But it's just a little fun fact about me. All right, so now that we're here. Right, now that we got to this point, I want to try to smooth out as much of the paint as possible. But once you've done so, I'm gonna move up just a little bit more. And here's where the fun part comes in. Right, and remember what I said earlier. You get purple when you mix red and blue together. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna keep this brush and we're gonna dip our paintbrush. We're gonna dip our paintbrush in that red. Just scoop it up there in the corner so you don't get through. What you don't want to do is have that blue directly in the middle of that red, because then it's gonna mix in every time you go into the red, and you don't want that. So just scoop it up on the corner. So let's scoop up some red on our paintbrush. Right, so you should have this. And we're gonna add the red to the top. And you can already, just as soon as it hits the canvas, you already see that it's purple. You don't even have to wait for it to change. It just automatically turns into purple, which is so incredible to look at. All right, so we're gonna work that purple all the way up into the top of the canvas. And once again, you see it's very harsh right here. Very, very harsh. But we're gonna fix that, all right? Remember, there are no mistakes in art, just room for opportunity, and you will not make a mistake. So we're gonna continue to work that red. And if you wanna make your purple a bit darker, you add more red to it. If you wanna make it a little bit lighter, you add more blue to it. So I'm gonna add a little bit more red to the top. All right, and let's work that all the way up. So this time we're going all the way up to the top. So make sure I get all my negative spaces out. I'll do a tad bit more blue. Just a tad bit more blue. I'm going to go to this corner. Alright. So now let's add some more red to that. Just like that. So it's darker. guys can see that. Alright, so we're gonna make sure we're getting all our negative spaces out so we have a nice solid purple. Alright, get this corner. Alright, so you should have that. Right, but as you can see, right here is very light, it's very smooth. It transitions from that light blue to that blue, but here is like a stacking of color. So you have purple, purple here, like it's on top of the blue. It's not really transitioning. So what we're gonna do is scoop up some blue. I'm gonna scoop up that blue. I didn't clean off my brush yet. I still have the same brush, and we're gonna mix that blue into the right at the bottom of that purple that we created. Get some more blue. Scoop up just about this much, if you guys can see that. And let's add that to that bottom to make it a bit more smoother at the transition. And then now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a little bit more. Add a little bit more red to it. Just a little bit more red. Just a tad bit though. Nothing too crazy. Alright? So you should have a nice smoother transition than what you had before. Alright? So like that. And now I'm gonna add just a tad bit of white. Just a tad bit of white to it. Add some more blue. Add some more blue just on top of that white that I created. So you should have this. Let's work that out. Alright, so you should have this nice blending of color. So we have light blue on bottom, we have blue, like pure blue on the middle, and we have purple on top, just like that. Alright, and now what we're going to do is we're going to clean off our brush and we're going to go into the bottom and we're going to create our ground, because of course this is on Earth and any planet that you go on, you're going to have a ground to look at. You got to look up on something, right? So we're going to create our ground with some blacks. We're going to clean off our brush and we're going to get right back to it. Alright, so now that we have this, a beautiful transition of blues into the purple, we're going to clean off our brush just like that. We're going to use our big brush. Gonna get in some black, and here's the part where you kind of want to go slower, because now we're gonna go, remember in the beginning I said that line that we created right here was our guideline, and now you're gonna see why. So you want to go as slow as possible. Right here, I want to make sure I get up close so you guys can see. I'm going right up against that blue that I created, very slowly. Very slowly, alright? I want to make sure you don't want to drag any of that blue into our black. Alright, so let's go just a bit slower. And after this step, you can go a little bit faster. But for right now, I'm going a little slower, just so I can go up against that blue. Let's switch it over. Go up against that blue. And it's okay if the black goes into the blue a little bit, but I want to work right up against that light blue that we created. So let's go that black. So you should have a nice black line right at the bottom. Alright, so now we're gonna get some black and we're gonna go right in the bottom, and now you can go a little bit faster because you now have a guideline and you can use that black line that we created, and just don't go over it as much. But remember, don't worry if you do. If you like the way it looks. So before I continue, I want to make this clear, right? If at any point in time during this art process that you like something about your art piece that I'm gonna tweak for myself, or if I'm gonna add something to it, you don't have to change it. Remember, this is your art piece. You are the artist. You're creating what you're creating. I'm just showing you how to do it. But at the end of the day, this is your art piece, and you are creating the beautiful work that you are you're doing. And what I want you guys to remember is that you don't have to have it exactly as mine. Remember, I said in the beginning, everyone has their own style, and everyone is gonna find their style throughout their artist journey, because everyone is different. Okay, so don't worry if your art piece doesn't look like someone else's, or if it doesn't look like mine. It's okay. It's perfectly fine. That's how art is. Art is supposed to. It's not supposed to be exactly the same, right? It's supposed to be unique to an individual, right? So just want to make sure I reiterated that, because I don't want people to. I don't want you guys to think you're making a mistake, because there are no mistakes in art. It's just room for opportunity. All right. So let's go back to this black, and we're gonna get some, like, a nice solid black on the bottom. So make sure you're working that black into the canvas as much as possible. All right. Make sure you're getting all your negative spaces out. Let's go over here. Some black, make sure I'm getting into them negative spaces, like so. Alright. So you want to cover as much of your canvas as possible with that black. So just get up in there. Alright. So you should have a nice solid black. Let me get this side a little bit more. Alright. This side a little bit more. Alright, so you should have a nice solid black. And usually what happens in an art piece is you get each side. So you get this side, this side, this side, and this side. It makes the art piece complete. I don't know if we're gonna do that today. But usually what happens, like during this process, when we were creating that light blue, we would drag it to the sides. But for today, I think we're just gonna stick to the front side of the art piece. And you should have this right now. All right, and don't, as you can see, I have my line a little bit going at a angle, and that's okay. Remember, if it's straight, that's good. If it's going up, that's good. If it's going down, that's good. Remember, Earth is a very strange place, to put it simply. Like, the Earth is not completely flat, right? You have humps, you have bumps, you have hills, you have mountains. There's different types of surfaces, different forms of surfaces on Earth, right? So I want this to be as realistic as possible, so I have this, right? So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna clean off this brush, and we're gonna switch to the other brush, the smaller one, to create our grass, all right? And what we're gonna do is we're gonna use the corner of our brush, and we're gonna flick up. So watch how I do it, just like that, just like that. That's all we're doing, literally. And you can go in any direction. You can make it as thick as you want, as small as you want. It's up to you. Remember, this is your art piece. This is your canvas. You're painting it, and I believe that with art, and I believe that with life. Your life is a canvas painted with faith. So let's continue. Just making tiny flicks. You can go in any direction. So just make tiny little flicks. Let's get some more black. Make it a little bit more thicker. Alright. Just a little more black. Alright, and we're just flicking up into whatever direction. I'm just going at random. So you don't have to copy the way I'm doing it. You can do it any way you want, but as long as the flicking is the same. So as long as you're just doing that and you're flicking your brush, you should be fine. All right. So let's just continue to flick that up. All right. So it should look like that. All right. Let's get some more black. Some more black. Push it up. Have that, and you can go as much as you want. It's like, remember, this is up to you. You can create as much grass as you want, or as little grass as you want. It's up to you. All right. So once we have this, what we're gonna do is we're gonna clean off our brush, and we're gonna go in with the same small brush, and we're gonna use some white. So let's clean off our brush and let's get back to it. All right, so now that you have this and you clean off your small brush, you're gonna go in with that white. And before we continue, I wanna remind you guys that the whole point of this is to just have fun and to just relax. You know, art is just a relaxing thing to do. But not only relax and have fun, but just complete that goal. All right, so we're here now. We have this black, we have this blue, this beautiful sky. What we're gonna create is our moon, and we're gonna create some stars. It's optional if you don't have to do it, if you don't want to, but we're gonna create some stars. But remember, just complete that goal. Just like that firefighter, just like that police officer, that's the favorite superhero you have. As you continue on and you push through, and you want to try to remember those people. You want to remember those firefighters. You want to remember those police officers and those superheroes that you really like. And the way that when they're on the mission, they go through and they execute. They make sure that they get it done. And no matter what, right? And that's what I want you guys to do. I want us to practice that. So remember, if it doesn't have to look like mine, this is your art piece. Remember that it's unique to you, and whatever you create is going to be beautiful. All right, so let's just push through. Let's get to the end goal, and let's relax and have some fun. All right, let's continue to have fun with this art piece. So now that we have this, we're going to get into some white. So we're going to use our little brush, dab some white, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a circle. Now you can create the circle wherever you want. It doesn't have to be where I put it. It could be over here, in the middle. I'm gonna put it up here though. All right, and we're gonna create a nice circle going down like that. We're gonna complete it. Make sure you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm gonna make sure that circle comes all the way around. Just like that. Now, you don't have to worry about how solid the white is right now, because we can always go back in and add some more white to it to make it darker. I mean, not darker, lighter. So if it's not as bright as you want it right now, don't worry. You can always go back in at the end and add some more white. So I'm just gonna add just a little bit more white. Let's go with a little bit more white. Add that to the middle. All right. Like that. We should have this. Okay. All right. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually flip our brush, and we're gonna use the back of our brush as a way to create those small dots. So I'm gonna dip, scoop up some paint with the back of your brush, not the front. This is the front. I'm gonna use the back this time. All right. So watch how I do it. All I'm doing is that. Boom. That's it. That's it. That's all I'm doing. So I'm just gonna add little dots. You can make them as small as you want, as big as you want. It's up to you. But I'm gonna create them just little dots in the sky. Boom, boom. Anywhere. It could be anywhere you want. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be like in a specific area. You don't have to copy the way I'm doing it. Like literally, I'm gonna close my eyes. Just boom. Anywhere you want, right? And you make them as big and as small as you want, just like that. All right. Just as many dots as you can. I want this night sky to be very bright, and I want it to be full of energy, right? Because when you look up in the sky, right? Usually, it depends on where you live. Like a little story time when I went to Jamaica. There, like the lights, like the night sky is very, very bright. Like you can see a lot of stars. And I live in Miami, so you can't really see the stars that much. Like if you were to go to another area where there's not really a lot, like you're not in a city, you're more like in a country part, you're gonna think the night sky is incredible. So I want this to resemble a a sky that's full of stars. And so I'm just gonna create little random dots wherever. Close my eyes again, just go at random, just like that. Went at random for a little second, right? And as you can see, there's small ones, there's big ones, there's little ones, and what that does is it gives this effect that it's closer to you or that it's further away from you. And just to give you a little lesson, what happens? So my hand is right close to you, right? Very close. And now that my hand is close to you, is big. It's very big. And as I go further away from you, my arm and my hand gets smaller. So what you want to do, if you want to create something big, you want to make it bigger. You want to create something that looks closer to you. You know, make it bigger. If you want to make it look further away, you want to make it smaller, and that's called playing with perspective. You can do this in paintings, in sculpting, in drawing, sketching, whatever art form that you use. You can create that you can play with perspective. All right. So let's continue with this white. Let's just continue to add them dots, right? And we're going all the way down here, all the way down. Down here, I want to make them as small as possible, though. That's the only thing. But if you want to make them big, you can do that. Remember, this is your art piece. I want to make them just a little bit smaller than usual. All right. Continue with that. We're still using the back of our brush, by the way. All right. Let's go down. Work those little dots into our canvas. I'm literally, as you can see, I'm literally just going at random. This is not like planned at all, right? And you don't have to do this. Like, I don't know if you already started, but remember I said you do not have to create the stars if you don't want to, okay? You don't have to. And if you think you created enough, you can stop, right? Or if you don't think you've created enough, you can continue. So, but I'm just gonna create just a little bit more dots. And there are so many ways to do this, by the way. There's so many like different techniques. So if you have your own technique, by all means, use it, all right? I'm not here to tell you exactly how you should create your art piece, because there's not just one way to do it, there's multiple, all right? So let me just get some dots up here, get some right here, beside the moon, get some dots down here, little ones, breaking them dots right into this canvas. Now, here's a trick that I want to do. So, we're flipping back to the front side, and we're going to drag that paint down just a bit, out here, make it a little bit fatter in here, just like that, and work it out. It looks like it's twinkling, right? So you're going to just create a little bit of twinkling. So let's drag it out just a bit, drag it out just a bit. Out this way and this way. Got two twinkles now. I'm gonna do one more time. And let's do it right here. Drag that out. Drag that out. Drag that out. And drag this way. Make it a little more fatter. Just like that. And now you have stars twinkling in the night. So just a couple more times. I'm gonna flip back over to the end of my brush, add a little bit more stars. I want this to be full of stars, right? So let's just make little dots, little tiny dots, little tiny dots, little tiny dots. All right. Little tiny dots, just like that. All right. There's not many up here, so let me just put some up here too. Pop, 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 pop. Just putting them anywhere I feel like I want to put them. Alright, and I think I have enough stars. What do y'all think? Y'all think I have enough stars? I think I have enough stars, but I just want to do one more time. I like this, it's kind of fun. So let's do some more stars. Boom, boom, bam. Alright, so now once you think you have enough stars, boom, just like that. All right. So once you think you have enough stars, what we're gonna do is we're gonna add just a bit more white if you want to. You don't have to. This is optional. But what I want to do, remember earlier when we did the moon, I said we can always add more white to it, right? So what we're gonna do, come in with that white. Let's make it a little bit brighter. Just a little bit brighter. Alright. So, and as you can see, what I'm doing is I'm creating a circle within the circle because I wanted to have this aura around it. Like I want it to look like it's emitting light, like it's just bright, and you can really see like it's the night sky is just looking incredible. Alright. So we're gonna come in and make a little circle within the circle, right? Just like that. And you should have this, right? Now, lastly, before we end with this art piece, I want to ask you guys this. What is the one thing that every artist in the world needs in order to be successful or to be well known or to be just an artist in general? And it's something that not only artists use, but everyone in the world, right? So I want to give you guys a couple of seconds to think about that while I add a little bit more stars. And that is correct. Your signature. You need a signature to make sure people know it's you. Just like on your homework assignment or on your test, when you have to give it to your teacher, you have to make sure the teacher knows it's you. So you put your name on it. Same thing with your signature. And another quiz, I want to see who knows a little bit about art. Who has the most famous signature in the world? And every single person in the world probably knows who this is. He's all over TV, it's all over cartoons, it's all over toys, video games, any type of thing you can think of. His signature is probably on it. Cups, plates, posters, like anything you can think of. I want to see who knows this. Say it out loud. I want you to say it out loud to make sure, so I can see who really knows this person. And that is correct. Walt Disney, like the person who created Frozen, Mickey Mouse, all the beautiful cartoons and movies that he created. Disney is the most famous signature. You know that in the commercial they be like this. Yeah, that Disney is the most famous signature. And as your final product, you should have this beautiful transition of light blue to purple with some grass on the bottom, some black and some grass, a nice looking moon up top, and a lot of stars going all over, and so a little couple twinkling stars there, here and there. And this will be your night sky. So now that you have this completely, and what we talked about as signatures, we're gonna continue with our white. I'm gonna dab a little bit of white. Now, do not copy my signature, because signatures are supposed to be it's basically your name, right? And you can either do your initials, which is the first letter of your first name and the first letter of your last name, or you can do your signature. If you don't have one, you can just do the initials. But don't copy mine. Your signature is supposed to be unique to you. It's something that you are either going to develop or you have developed in your life, and you're going to use it a lot. So it's nice to start now. But don't copy mine. It's just, if you don't have one, if you want to create a signature, you can create one now and just stick to it and kind of tweak it as you go in your process. Or if you just want to use your initials, you can. But I'm just going to put mine right here using my white. And that's my signature. Do not copy it. Don't do it. And this is your final product of your art piece. Alright, so I want to thank you guys so much for playing with me. I had a lot of fun. Remember, this was supposed to be a very fun, very soothing, very relaxing time to just paint and let go, forget about the world, and just paint, right? And I want to thank you once again for everything. And I can't wait to see you guys in the next video.
Well, I hope you enjoyed your class on today with one of our artists. Well, remember, your life is a canvas painted with faith. Make sure you go to paintwithfaith.com and find us at our social media sites at Paint with Faith. Again, thanks again for painting with faith.